name's Mitch Bryars, and I'm here to do the iOS, watch, iPad, iPhone, anything else you want to talk about. And this meeting, is this the normal one? Is this the,
What?
This meeting would normally be next week, but we moved it up because I'm going to be out of town.
Skiing next week or something.
I am actually going to be up in Minnesota next week. Yeah, well, I wish I could be skiing, but it's not going to be skiing.
Who knows? Minnesota could be.
That's right. You never know with Minnesota. Anybody here for the very first time?
Yes. We have somebody here for the first time.
No.
Well, you've been here before, George.
No, I thought there was somebody right here this time.
No, she's been. Oh, you first time?
Nope.
Nope.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember yet.
Okay.
Hey, the pressure's on.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member, but there are some great benefits to being a member. Okay. So one of the things, how many people have a watch? Okay.
Apple Watch?
I mean,
Or-
not Apple.
I
How many, let's see those hands again. Apple Watch. How many of you have an Apple Watch?
There only is one Apple.
How many people are going to get one? Okay, good, Ruth, that's great. Okay, well, one of the things that...
Ruth gets a 97% discount.
I know. One of the things that actually George led me on to was, let me find it. There we go. What'd you do? You just stay seated right there. Okay, what I wanted to show was this. And George led me on to this. It's a stand for the watch. It's made by Griffin. They had them on sale for $23 until 1st of June. So I was the guy who get mine for 23. I'm sure you did too, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you didn't notice that in the email? You sent me?
It happened afterwards.
Ah, okay. So, did you get yours yet?
Yes.
Okay, that's excellent, isn't it? Yeah. Actually, the way mine is set up is, let me just see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, I have mine like, that's the stand, and then I have my watch on there. I usually put it on like that. I just lay it over the top. I don't put my phone there.
Are there two chargers on there, one for each?
No, there aren't.
So it's just the holding stand?
Yeah, you could put your phone there. I choose not to. I got another place I put my phone, but I do lay my watch over the top like that, as opposed to they ship like this. I don't do that. I thought they had another one where it was.
Yeah, so you have adapter. Did you use that little adapter that came with it?
Yeah, plugged it in the wall.
No. That brought up the magnetic piece a little higher.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yep. So there's a ton of them out there, but this one turned out to be pretty good. Any questions on that?
Why would you need that? Doesn't that watch come with a charger?
It comes with a charger, but it just comes with, you see the wire right there? And it's a long cord, I mean, just like this, okay? Just like your iPhone cord is. And it's got this little round thing on it. And so for a long time, I just had it on my desk, and I'm just putting it on that and leaving it lay there. It just looks sort of sloppy. This thing, the round thing, you can see it at the top up there. And the wire, this is actually a couple pieces, and this thing goes, pushes right down, and the wire gets fed through to the bottom and then out the back, and you plug it in. So it just makes it look a lot neater, and works very well.
You wouldn't travel with that stick.
No. That's interesting. I'm going on a trip just comes right off. And I'm gonna have to take it off and take the cord with me, so I'm either gonna disassemble it or I'm gonna take the stick with me. I don't think I'm gonna take the whole thing. Yes,
But that's what that is a plastic stand for your charging device, which you plug in the top of that and run the wire through it.
yes,
So that's just plastic.
yes.
Okay.
It's just plastic. There are a number of them. Here's some. If you go on and search for these things, there's just a host of them out there, and there's a lot of them that are a lot cheaper. But I particularly like this one, particularly since I got it at their introductory price. Yeah, there's a bunch more. There's some more. I almost bought that wood one. But I like this. On all these other ones, the wire sort of shows. You can see the wire coming down the side of it. On the Griffin one, it comes up that tube in the middle. And it feeds out underneath and out the back.
One more question, Rich.
Yes,
Is the charging transducer from Apple magnetic? It clicks itself to the watch?
it's magnetic, and
Okay.
you just set the watch on it. And it's sort of confusing, because when you get the charger, it's silver on one side and white on the other side. The white side is the side that the watch sticks to. And you think it would be just the opposite. You think, oh, put it on the silver side, that's where the magnet's gonna be, but it's not. I've had the watch now for 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and I like it more and more. I still have some disappointment with some of the activity features, exercise features and recording of that activity. But next week, when they have the developers conference, they're going to release a lot of code and kits, new kits to developers that will allow developers to access the heartbeat sensor that's on the back of the watch, and to access a lot of other things. So I know I saw one video of a top Apple guy. He wasn't one of the top 5, but he was heavily involved in the watch, and he came right out and said, he says, I like this other app a lot better for recording my cycling activity than the one that's on the watch. And he said, so that developer will now have access to the heart rate stuff, and they'll be able to use that. And I think that's going to be a huge, huge improvement. The other thing that a lot of people complain about, I haven't had this problem, is they haven't had a lot of third-party apps on my phone that I'm using, but they say that it takes a while for them to come up. And anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds or something like that. And again, Apple's releasing material that's going to make that process speed up tremendously for third-party developers. So I think there'll be a host of other announcements next Monday. That's going to be a live broadcast, incidentally. I think it'll probably be on the Apple site. It's the way they've done it in the past. And I think it will start at the keynote address, which is when most of the big announcements are made. We'll start at 1 o'clock Eastern. So if you're interested in that, you can get on then, or you'll probably be able to see a video of it maybe on their site later. They might announce a new Apple TV box. I hope they do. I don't know if they will yet.
Jim should know that.
Jim?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they've talked about it, but then they've talked about that they're delaying their Apple TV programming, where they're going to have all the news channels and so on, because they're having difficulty. They want to provide local channels, and they're having difficulty securing local channels across the nation. And I would imagine that they're in a lot of different negotiations on that.
Well, if the template with cable is any indication, it's going to be a long slog, because cable has had trouble with networks in the past, broadcast networks in the past, and it's the same deal.
Yeah. I know they have a lot of major networks signed up, but they don't have the locals. I'm sure they're working on some of the more of the national ones as well. So, but there should be some good announcements coming up on next Monday. Next Monday? Next Monday. Okay. Questions? Yes, Jim?
I have a question about deleting photos across all platforms. I assumed that because most of my photos got onto my laptop via the cloud, that if I deleted, I finally sat down and deleted a whole bunch of duplicate photos from my laptop yesterday, and last week, and I expected them to also be gone from my iPhone and my iPad. And the strange thing about it was, some of them were gone, but most of them were not. So do I have to delete photos from each separate platform?
What I did, I'm a little confused on that same issue, but the way I accomplished it so it disappeared on everything is I deleted them in the cloud.
Oh,
In other words, iCloud.com, then put in your, your ID and so forth,
uh-huh.
and then click on photos when you get into it, and then delete them from the cloud.
But I thought that one of the features of iCloud was going to be that it was not going to permit duplicate photos. That's what I read. Yes.
Jim, I think that the photos that you deleted that's still remain were probably taken on that device.
They were. They're almost all taken on my iPhone.
Okay. Because I think if you delete them from your laptop or whatever, I don't think they get deleted if they're still in the camera roll on the original device.
No, this is when I open up the Photos app.
Yeah.
I typically take multiple. When I'm going to take somebody's picture, I typically take multiple ones and then decide later which one I want to keep. And that's what I was doing on the laptop, and I expected them to be gone on my iPhone and my iPad, and they weren't.
Yeah, but on your iPhone, there's a camera roll, and that's not the cloud. The camera roll is in parallel to the cloud.
Yeah, the camera roll is, if you delete something from the cloud, you delete it from your iPad. The camera, unless you delete it from the camera roll, it stays on the camera roll until you delete it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the camera roll on the phone at all. I'll check that. I just opened Photos in both devices.
Right.
So are you saying that the Photos app on the iPhone is a separate thing from the... I thought the camera roll fed the Photos app.
Only in photo stream, right? You don't have iCloud photos in your computer.
I didn't hear you. Somebody coughed.
Did you enable iCloud photos, the photo drive?
I honestly don't remember.
What was your question?
We've all sort of talked about not doing that, right? Because then all your photos get uploaded to the cloud.
Yeah, and I don't think I have enough room.
I didn't do that either.
I didn't either.
So the only mechanism to go from device to device is what? Is your photo stream,
Yeah.
right?
Good wife.
And that's stuff that you've taken on your iPhone or iPad or something.
Yeah, I take a picture on my iPhone, and it ultimately winds up on my laptop
Right.
without any connecting.
Right.
That's the photo stream work.
That's photo stream work.
But it's still in the camera roll in your original device.
Okay. Thank you. I'll try that.
But if you delete it from photo stream anywhere, it gets deleted everywhere.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, that contradicts what he just said. If you delete it and it's going from everything, it's still on the phone's camera roll.
Right.
That's not what you just said. You just said you delete it from there, it goes away from everywhere.
No, I said if it's in photo stream, when you take a picture here, right, if I take this picture, it appears on my phone through photo stream. I can now delete it from photo stream.
it doesn't get deleted from your camera roll.
So
There's two different things.
that's what I thought.
Yes.
If you delete it from the screen, it's still on the roll.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly,
So if you want to get it off the phone, you gotta get it off the roll.
exactly. Yes, yes.
Just another topic. I'm interested in creating a website and want to know what people have found very easy and simple.
Okay, I have not created my own website, but I'm sure there are people in here who have.
What was the question, sir?
She wants some input on creating her own website and what people have done in here, and I have not created my own website. Yes,
WordPress is really good. Hi, Stacy. WordPress is really good. There used to be one in iWorks called iWeb. I don't know if that is still available or
It's
not.
And I
not,
don't
it
think
was
that's
so
available.
great.
Okay. That was
It's
one.
gone.
What was it? For the Microsoft arena, it used to be front page and publisher. All of these are just graphic user interface. You just, they give you a blank template, you drag what you need into the template, and it builds you your website, and it'll generate the code. Then all you need to do is find somebody who's gonna host your website, and you file transfer it up to their website, and they do it that way.
I heard that WordPress was a little complex and a little difficult.
Yeah. Sure.
I recently signed up with a company, I think, called Everweb or something like that. They're a hosting company, and they also provide software that is the creation activity. I'm paying $3 a month for my website. Okay, and the software is pretty easy to use. You get a page and you just drag your pictures to it and whatever. So it is, there are many of them out there. A lot of people who are artists have gone to GoDaddy and people like that and bought a hosting package, and the hosting package, it includes usually the placement services. So they're out there. I have heard bad things about GoDaddy, but I don't know if they're solid. GoDaddy is kind of like AOL used to be.
Okay.
You sign up for it, but you can't ever leave.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
watch it.
Thanks.
Why do you say that?
What?
Why do you say that?
Well, I've heard that, I have not personal experience, but they make it difficult to change hosting services, what I understand.
Well, I've used GoDaddy for years. I have all my sites there, my family sites and my real estate sites. I find them the opposite of what you
Okay.
said.
I have no
But maybe
personal
you can't
experience.
get away from them easily.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
I've
it's
gone
not?
in and out, I've moved
Oh, you have to different,
to different
great.
hosting. I went to one-on-one, one-on-one.
Okay.
I don't find that to be true at all. I've used
Maybe
them
it
for
used to
years.
be true or something.
And they're very good for web hosting and for web development, I find.
Good.
I know that I don't have a website with GoDaddy, but I do have 3 or 4 names protected, variations of my name protected, and I do have an email that I have protected through them, but I haven't gone the step of actually using their service for email, although I've talked to them about it, and it seems to be just as good in terms of filters and everything that Google has. A gentleman in the back, do you use their email service?
I do.
And do you find it to be just as flexible as,
It's fine.
yeah,
I've used it for more than 10 years.
yeah. I know they're very helpful on the phone whenever I have a problem or a question. They're excellent on the phone, and they never want to rush me or anything. They always want to, they do always want to point out services that you could buy to enhance
Right.
your experience with them and their experience with you.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
They answer the phone.
They answer the phone, yes,
That's a
absolutely,
big
they
thing.
answer the phone.
Yeah.
No voicemail.
No,
Hello.
no voicemail, it's hello, and they have been excellent, and the one gal who we had in here on security is, after that meeting, I went out and secured my name, so mitchbryars.com and mitchbryars.com, and I don't know, I have 2 or 3 of them that I've paid and protected for the next 10 years, and it has to do with protecting yourself from identity
Your privacy.
issues and so
Yeah.
on, and privacy and so on.
Good. Also, I've heard of Wix, I think it's free, maybe. I've heard of iPage, which gives me the impression that maybe they're trying to be compatible with Mac. I don't know if anybody's
Heard of
familiar
Wix,
with
but I haven't heard of
iPage.
iPage. What's the one you're using again, Jerry?
Well, I'm still using iWeb because
Oh.
it still works.
Oh, but I thought you said you just signed up with a new service.
Yeah, Everweb, I think is the name of the company that's doing my hosting, but I can still create.
iWeb has not been available for probably 6 years, but it still works.
Really? So how would that, it works with Yosemite?
Yes, the club website that's up there today is all done on iWeb.
So where could I access iWeb or download it?
You can't get iWeb anymore. Apple stopped developing it about 6 years ago.
So you have to get it from an old computer if you have one?
Yes,
Oh, I don't even know.
but I will put a note out on the service I have it in the contact, and the web design pages looks, the new software works just like iWeb.
The new software for
From a company called Evernote, I think, or Everweb.
Everweb. So,
I'll send it through the discussion.
okay, thank you. So you don't actually have to use iWeb, you can use Everweb, their software.
You can use tons of them.
Thank you.
You pick the one that is useful to you.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute, just before we leave that topic, and this thought leaves my mind because I'm over 60. Google just announced their new free photo service where you can store a gazillion photos for free with them. And Mossberg reviewed it and gave it rave reviews and said it was probably the best out there. And there have been a number of articles on privacy issues with that service, and I just want to point that out. That if you read the fine print, Google keeps your photos forever. They keep the location. They know the camera you shot them on. They know where you shot it, and they say that they will use this information for pointed advertising and so on with their vendors. So, it's a great service. I understand it's the best facial recognition, at least Mossberg said, service out there in terms of your photos. But along with all the greatness you do, there's always that privacy issue with Google that you do not have with Apple. Any comments on that?
So you can see your face on an ad?
Well, what they said, what Mossberg said is that it's their facial recognition is the best he's seen. And if there's 100 pictures of you from the time you were a little girl until now, it'll come up and it'll say, this is this same person. It doesn't say your name, but it says this is the person. And then, of course, you can say, oh, well, this is so-and-so. And once you say this is so-and-so, and then Google has that forever.
They give it to the NSA.
Huh?
And they give it to the NSA.
Yes, they give it to anybody who wants it. It's not for a price. Yes.
Well, one should remember, nothing is for free, and Google is about
Exactly.
But on another subject, I'm trying to go into the 21st century and get an iPad too. And so I've been looking at refurbished iPads. Is there another source, maybe a tad bit cheaper than Apple that's reliable for refurbished?
Refurbished,
Uh-huh.
small dog.
Okay.
Yeah, just Google small dog.
I don't know if they have refurbished iPads. I know they have refurbished Macs.
The nice thing about the refurbished ones with Apple is if you want to buy the warranty, the extended warranty, you can.
Same thing with small dog.
Same thing with small dog? Okay.
Can the old iPads handle the new operating system?
How old?
The iPad we have at home is, I think it's called iPad 2. It was the second.
The second one?
Yeah.
I think the second one will handle most things.
It does.
This is,
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah.
Can't find anything different.
Yeah, it handles most things, it's just a little slower.
A lot slower.
And the resolution is much, it's not retinal quality. If you have a 2, it's probably time to think about upgrading when they come out with their next latest and greatest one. And you had a question here, I didn't.
Yes, I did. It's completely different.
Yes.
I have POP on one of my emails. Is it possible to change POP to iMessage?
It depends on which email service it is.
Who's your service provider?
Who's your service provider?
Is it Comcast?
No, it is Lightstream, Litestream.
You have to contact them.
Contact them.
Or the person, or the people who are providing the service. I don't have it. In other words, you can go down here as the,
GoDaddy is the,
come on, over 60, over 70.
it'll come to you.
It's not GoDaddy, it's another.
We have one over 90, and she's in much better shape.
Better shape than me. Everybody in the room is better shape than me.
Ruth, you'll have
You
to
know,
try.
there's 3 things in life. You're middle-aged and you're looking good. When you're looking good, you're out the door. But I don't know who has the website. I cannot give that to you.
Okay.
But they put the POP,
I think I would get a hold of them or get a hold of your email provider and ask them. And you might want to even Google it if you know but the IMAP is much better than the POP.
the reason that I buy it, I have 3 different machines. And if I delete it on one, I still have to go to the other 2.
Yes, exactly.
It's driving me insane.
Yes,
That's why you want iMac.
that's what
Yes.
you want IMAP.
But
Yeah.
can he link that to you have a Google account?
Do I have
Gmail?
Google? Yeah.
Well, can you link that POP account to a Gmail account, and that'll accomplish what you want?
If you want to get more information to Google.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad it doesn't sound like it.
Susan,
I thought it was completely, you could never do it.
Susan, you had a question.
I did. It's on the time machine backup.
Yes.
I purchased one of those Western Digital hard terabyte drives.
Yeah.
They have. And it came with a feature where it locks it. Okay, so when I turn the machine on my Mac, I have to unlock the drive. It seems to like it backs up fine as long as the thing is, the computer is on, but if it goes into sleep mode or anything, it shuts doesn't do the backup and it locks the drive on me. Any suggestions?
I don't have a suggestion, Jerry.
I would have taken that drive and used disk utility and wiped everything off of it, including all the Western Digital software,
Okay.
so that it is just a drive.
Just a
It
drive.
doesn't hit any of the Western Digital
Lock features.
stuff that would lock it up.
Okay.
So you can do that. I mean, if you can get by without your old backups, or if it's just a backup that you're doing a boot will back up every night, it changes anyhow.
Yeah.
So that's an excellent suggestion.
When you buy any of the hard drives, most of the people are putting crapware on the drive that gives them a selling feature, but it interferes with the normal use of the drive.
Exactly. Yes.
I just want to comment on that. I had an old drive that I decided to repurpose. It was a small 160 gigabyte drive, and I tried doing what you said, Jerry, cleaning it up, doing the one where it paints it over with zeros. And it told me it would take about an hour and a half to do this. And so I just set it, and I walked away from it. The computer went to sleep and apparently upset the process, because when I came back, I got a message that said it couldn't be completed. And it apparently wanted me to basically sit there and make sure it didn't go to sleep to get it done.
There are some settings in...
There's a setting you can
There's some
set.
settings in system preferences, energy saver, that you should, that the next time you do it, you say don't
It
go
keeps
to
it from
sleep.
sleeping?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can let the display go to
Go
sleep,
black.
but not the drive. Just
Yeah.
keep the drive.
But I had to do it like 2 or 3 times. Just
Yeah,
like that.
you go into settings and go into system preferences and under the energy. And it shows right there.
It's like a never sleep.
And that's how mine's set up. Mine's set up never. Now, the display will go dark,
Mhm.
but it never goes to sleep for that very reason.
Gotcha.
As I have mine set up to do backups at different times of the night and so on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
If I may share a good story about Apple. My iPhone, sound would work, it wouldn't work. The phone would ring, it would ring. I spent 92 minutes on the phone with a young man from Idaho. Swept it clean, put it back on, still no good. So I went up to Estero, gave them the phone, they said, well, put a new speaker in, come back in 40 minutes. I came back in 40 minutes. They said, we're not going to put a new speaker in, they gave me a brand new phone. And there it is. So
Great.
they are good.
yeah.
You would recommend Apple?
Pardon?
Would you recommend that we all get an Apple phone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're in the right place.
Mitch,
Yes.
I had some news.
Yes,
I used to have mobile me, as probably many of us did. And
yes.
I had the worst nightmare with them ongoingly. And I finally found out, well, first I'll tell you that on the phone with them, I would say, your mobile me is like a wayward child or something. It doesn't even seem like part of the Apple company. It seems like a PC company. And I finally found out last week that indeed Mobile Me was a third-party company, and it was just sort of associated with Apple. They were like outsourcing everything, and it was a total nightmare for all the Apple, specialists.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else may have had that.
I didn't know that. I know I had bad experiences with Mobile Me, and thank God it's not there anymore.
Wow, really?
Yes.
You talk about a nice Apple story. My new watch, I bought the Link bracelet, and within the first week, I noticed a little scratch on the bracelet,
Mhm.
and then I looked it up on the internet, and it's very normal for stainless steel to scratch. But I took it over to the store, and I said, this really bothers me. I can't live another day with this scratch. You had to have a magnifying glass to see the scratch. They replaced the band immediately.
Wow.
So it is a great company, and they do a wonderful job.
Well, I've got to tell you, I banged mine over here, and I've got a nick, and I can actually feel it.
You might want to go over there and start crying.
Is that the gold? Is it the gold?
No, it's not the gold. If it were the gold, I'd really cry. But I don't know how I banged it, but,
I'd have to throw it out.
huh?
I wouldn't be able to work.
You wouldn't be able to wear it.
I think it's very important that we're able to live with a defect. It's a
That's
good
right.
reminder. Nothing here is going to be perfect.
Who made that comment?
I
Are you available for counseling?
Actually, yes.
I could use you full time.
Me too.
There we go. Okay, quiz of the day, it's an easy one. Anybody tell me what that picture is of? The Tetons, yes. And I actually will share a bit of trivia with you. I have been to the top of that rock in my younger days. I think it was about 1992.
Aren't they grand anymore, Mitch?
Yeah, it was great. And right where all that snow is the, is where you go up. That's the lower saddle, and then you go up the backside and get up to the top. And when you get up to the top, you get down, the first thing you do is a 200-foot rappel. And the last 100 foot of it is a free fall, which means you're not bouncing off rocks, you're just going down the road. It was quite an experience.
Younger days is right.
Yes, younger days.
Was that when they had like climbing school and then?
We had a guide, yeah. I say we, it was myself and my two sons.
We were younger.
Yes. When we were young, yeah. Okay, more questions? Yes, yes.
Does anyone know about getting a battery backup for your iPhone during a hurricane?
A battery backup for your iPhone during a hurricane. There are several battery chargers that you can get, and you can
That's what I mean.
and you can just search on Amazon for reserve. I would search on reserve battery backup for your iPhone, and you can get one. It'll give you 4 or 5 charges. It'll give you a couple charges.
They're from $20 and up, and so I just didn't know.
Yes. Anybody else have a comment on that?
Yes, I would suggest if you're going to get battery backup for your iPhone, just look for the one that takes AA battery or something like that, and forget about everything else and use that.
Okay.
Solar is also a good option.
Solar is a good option. Okay.
But the, and I looked at solar also, and I may end up getting a solar backup, but I think I'm learning, just reading the reviews and the length of time and the number of recharges, that if you're gonna do it, pay some money. Because the $20 ones, the solar ones, or the $30 ones, the reviews aren't good, and they don't ever recharge totally in the sun. They top themselves off.
In the
So-
hurricane, you wouldn't have sun.
Oh, yeah, you would.
Light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would.
I'm not gonna flat. I'm
Because
not
the
planning to
electricity
stay
goes
here.
out in the middle, and then you've got days while they restore the electricity. So you don't need that. Yeah, but I would not go cheap. If you're gonna do it for backup, then you want the backup, right? So don't go cheap. Get the best one that you can afford with the best reviews.
It also rated by millivolt, by how powerful they are, and so how many more charges you get. It's 2,000, 5,000, 6,000.
Okay, so on Amazon, I just typed in iPhone battery pack, and this is what came up, and I think it's important, I think this is what Kathy's saying, is the stars and the number of people who have reviewed it. And it will tell it'll tell on each one how big it is, and a lot of times it's just by size. Now, I have a friend of mine who, he had so many of these that he gave me 1 or 2 of them, and they're the small, thin ones, and I have never used it yet. Fact is, I'd have a hard time telling you where it's at. I have to think about it for a minute. But it's probably in my bag somewhere. And where I would typically use it though would be if I was out on a long hike or something like that. But there are just numerous ones, and there are different capacities, and there are different ratings and so on. Anything else on that?
I have a lamp with a crank on it, and that also has cell phone charger options. So, that is not, I don't have an iPhone, so I don't have to worry about that compatibility. But the crank charges the battery, and the light is on, and there are plugs for my cell phone.
You're gonna bring that light in next week to demo it?
If it's dark.
Well, then a radio would work on it too if the batteries went down.
I think this one even has a emergency radio station.
Weather radio.
See, I'm not planning to be here, but we still got a month or so.
Yeah, I'm planning on going to Georgia or nowhere.
Question, Mitch, I have a couple of those sort of lipstick-sized ones, and you can't just charge those and put them aside for a rainy day. You have to leave them plugged in.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, they've got to be fresh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think you can save it for a rainy day because it'll eventually deplete itself.
Exactly.
But, I mean, if usually you have a little warning before a storm.
I mean, I'm just saying that might be a reason why the battery, the AAA battery ones might be a better option specifically for a hurricane situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don.
if you look up on Amazon, I think they have it, it's iSound, the letter I, S-O-U-N-D.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one from richardsolo.com. Used to be Sharper Image, then they went bankrupt. Anyway, Richard Solo has them. It's $80 now, but they're frequently on sale. It's excellent. It has, I think, 4 or 5 plugs. You can charge your iPad and your phone at the same time. It's wonderful.
Is this
It
it?
doesn't take batteries.
Well, that's
You
just
charge it electrically. So for a hurricane, if you're out for a long time, but
Which one is it here? I got several of them.
no, it's not. It's a rectangular thing. iSound. Go to richardsolo.com.
Oh, I thought you said Amazon.
Well, it came up on my search, but I don't see it. Amazon, when you search for stuff, it'll drive you many times to Amazon, but the specific thing that you're searching from does not come up.
Richard
But
Hill?
Amazon.
Solo.
Solo, S-O-L-O, richardsolo.com.
The old jumper.
Okay.
And then maybe search for iSound and the search bar up there. But it's, I look at it now, it's $80, but it's excellent. 16,000 amp hours or whatever. They're right there on the lower left. That one, click on that one.
The lower left, this,
Yeah, the rectangular,
$79.95.
next to the phone looking phone.
yeah, right there.
It's
Still see.
excellent. And it has a little flashlight. It has the blue lights that indicate when it's charging. It has a little button that indicates, if you get a lot of lights, then it's fully charged. If you get only one light, it needs to be charged. But it's an excellent thing for travel. It would charge several. I've used it, actually, I've been using it this week, charging my iPhone.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry about that. I hate places that do that.
No,
But I've charged my
I hit it.
iPhone.
Here we go.
Welcome to richardsolo.com. I'm Richard Tallheim. We're here to discuss gadgets for iPhone, iPad, BlackBerry, you name it, because today we're going to discuss the 16,000 milliamp universal backup battery. This works for anything. Digital cameras. Doesn't work for a notebook computer, however. So it's got to be an iPad, digital camera, iPhone, BlackBerry, any phone. And here's what you get. Microfiber bag for travel. Isn't that nice? Keeps it from getting scratched. And the bag happens to be a cleaning device as well, because it is a microfiber bag. So let me pop this battery out of here. This is such a good looking product and such a useful product. Voila, you have 16,000 milliamps of power here. That's pretty amazing. And a flashlight. I won't shine it right in the camera, but you get the idea. Nice bright flashlight. 16,000 milliamps of power. Now you might ask, well, what is 16,000 milliamps anyway? An iPhone is about 1,100 milliamps. So 16,000 is getting up there around like, what is that, like almost 15 times the size of your iPhone battery. So basically you charge it up with this charger we give you for the wall. Then you take your USB cable like you do right now with your iPhone or BlackBerry. You plug it into one of 5 USB ports. So that means you've got the opportunity, if you want, to charge several devices at once. In fact, 5 USB ports. And this has enough power that you're going to get up to 480 hours of use, they claim. I mean, I don't know exactly what that is, but think of it as about 15 iPhones. They even throw in a little mini and micro USB charger. So these fit pretty much every product on the market except for Apple. Apple, of course, uses its own proprietary connector, but the mini and micro USB will work for almost every camera and phone and smartphone. So take your USB cable, like the one you use with your Apple device right now, plug it into this end, carry this with you on your trip, camping, go to Europe, travel somewhere, you'll have more backup power than you ever imagined. And really, not a very big product, smaller than a paper bag. And 16,000, I bet you if you look around the internet, you won't find a better price anywhere for 16,000 milliamps of reserve power. This will charge up in about 7 hours and give you plenty of power to watch movies or whatever, charge with devices, go on a long plane flight, go camping for the weekend. We have great customer service. I always got to mention that. I love the fact that we try to respond to everybody, usually within about an hour of you emailing us. And we take care of you in every way we can. Any reasonable request is honored because we really believe in having great customer service. So check out the 16,000 milliamp battery at richardsolo.com. Thanks.
Thanks for that.
Battery powered. Does anyone know of a TV that takes batteries? Because if there's a hurricane and you're out of power for a week, the only ones I've been able to find are, they plug in to, you have to plug it in to charge like that thing. But I've not found a TV that takes D-sized, batteries. Cost is no object if if there's a hurricane and you're out for a week, but you can't charge, you can't plug it in to charge it.
In the
God, it
90s,
seems-
I used to have a little one, just for emergency.
Yeah, I used to have a little one too, but now they've changed.
Well, now, I have one of those bigger battery backups that I use for my computers and also for my TV. If the electric goes out, the TV will run for about 15 minutes, and that's it. But I can tell you for a fact that if they say a hurricane's coming, we're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and if you even stay and you have your nice charger, like the one, and that's a really good one that you pointed out, Don, and you charge up your phone, if there's a real hurricane coming through, good luck on getting any phone service or getting any internet service.
Internet's definitely down.
Internet's definitely down, and phone questionable.
Full tank of gas, that's what you want.
Full tank of gas and head up the highway with everybody else. Yes.
I have a little shortwave radio, and it's got a, plug into the batteries, it's got crank, I mean, every which way it'll.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen the crank on the TV also. They had one in Costco, I think, a few years ago, that had a crank and had a TV and showed where the radio and flashlight and everything.
What's the point of having
What's the
TV?
point?
You don't get Comcast and all your broadcasters, towers will have blown over, so you don't get TV.
That's right. The best thing to do is to head up the highway. I'm telling you, that plan works, we've tried it.
You know,
That's where we're going.
Yes.
They do sell marine radios, which the Coast Guards use,
Mhm.
which are small portable devices, which give constant weather reports.
Okay. Good
Weather
point.
radios have that.
Yes.
I was here for Wilma. I did evacuate to a friend's house. And of course, electric was out and I just went out to my car, turned on the accessories. I had radio. You know, how simple is that? And she had a crank TV too, but you know, now the TV signals are all digital and I think the old crank ones, they were mostly analog. So, you know, you'd have to get a new version of it.
You'd have to
But
have
I
an
don't-
antenna, a digital antenna.
For me, radio is the primo thing. I have to have radio.
A lot of minivans and SUVs now have a 120 plug, where you can plug your TV in and set in the car.
Yep, that's true.
Can you think of a website? You think of a website on there? www.stormprepare.com.
Okay, hold on a minute.
You might have to start on it.
Let's see, Collier County Sheriff's Red are
Storm?
Storm, prepare, PREPARE.com.
But if you end up sleeping on the patio, I went after Wilma and bought a.
Okay, they actually they have TVs in there, you go scroll up a little bit, battery powered digital TVs. Right there.
Yeah, here we go. This looks like the site for all of those who are going to stay through the storm. Everybody else, we'll see you up at Disney World. That's actually where we went. We went to Paramount when Wilma hit.
The problem was that my dogs wanted to sleep with me. And do you know that the normal body temperature of a dog is like 101.
We took our dog and cat with us, and they went to Paramount with us. And they were very accommodating. Most of those hotels up there they have it was actually funny because we stayed right on Paramount's property. I forget which one of the Paramount hotels, but they had a whole floor. The bottom floor was the pet floor, the floor that you could have a pet in your room. It was full. I'm sure half of Naples was there. But the thing that was funny is you'd walk down the hall and you thought you were going to get eaten alive.
It was a Yorkie.
Yeah, Yorkie. No, they were big dogs. You could hear them.
And you click on that TV.
Oh, yeah. We'll fix you right up here, Don. It's taking a while.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with the old ones. You're right. Kathy is right. Now that they have a digital signal, your old TV
Here we go.
does not work anymore.
$79. There you go, Don.
But what kind of power does it take? Does it have rechargeable batteries?
It says
For
2 hours.
Double A.
For 99.
It says 2 hours, approximately 2 hours, Don.
Cool.
Oh, that one.
So,
So buy a lot of batteries.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want something that you can put batteries in.
Throw your batteries in the refrigerator. It'll last an awful lot longer.
The one above it is.
Is that really true? I heard it was a while.
Yes, it is. It's true.
That's
So we did that at the paper, George.
I've had some in there for 20 years. I don't think they're working.
okay, let's move on. Next subject. Who has a question? Yes?
What's the best way for us to find out if the lynda.com is available for a week?
The best way to find that out is to email George. What's your email, George?
There's space available starting the 12th of July.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
But you do
And what is-
email,
What is your email?
Rubin, R-U-B-I-N, George, @mac.com.
Thank you.
so you email George and you say what's available, or if he just told you what's available, you say, I'd like the week of the 20th or whatever. It's always Wednesday to Wednesday, is that what you're doing?
Thursday to
Thursday to Thursday. Sometimes if you're lucky, he'll give you,
Thursday to Wednesday.
are you still every once in a while giving people a couple weeks in the slow season? Or does it depend on who it is?
No, just tell me exactly what you want, and, but the first available week is, whatever I just said.
12.
Whatever, well, what's the the second Thursday of the month of July? Might be the 9th.
Hold on a minute.
The 9th.
July,
Then it's the 9th.
the 9th.
time.
There we go.
No, excuse me, that week is full, the 16th.
The 16th. Okay.
Might be a time to bring up No Boom Productions again. They're looking at lynda.com.
Yeah, and it's Note Boom, right? Notebeoom. Yeah. I actually am a subscriber of his.
Because you can do it anytime.
Note Boom?
Productions.
Productions. Or tutorials. Yeah.
Note Boom Productions? Tutorials. Here we go. So you can subscribe, I think, what's he give us, it's like $59 for a year,
About that, yeah.
and you can get
And he runs
any,
promotions about, for every holiday, it's usually 30
yeah,
half off.
so you can get,
He has 1,000.
he has all kinds of videos in there, and they're very good, they're very simple, a lot of them are more simple than some of the lynda.com. They tend not to be, in general, they tend not to be as in-depth as the lynda.com, but they're very good. Next question. Yes?
What do you do if I forgot my code for my iPad?
Oh, Lord.
You forgot your cord for your iPad?
Code.
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 Password.
The phone number code.
Ah, you're in big trouble.
Well, I do have the fingerprint on it. So
But the problem is if you power the unit off, you have to have that 4-digit code to get back in. The fingerprint won't do that. You actually forgot it.
I'm pretty close to it, but not exactly.
I would be practicing that.
I got a sign that says second try. I'm afraid to do the third try.
Ah,
Because then it will shut me down.
well, if you got the fingerprint, do the fingerprint, open it up, and then start over again.
But you have to have the old one to get in.
You do have to have the old one to get in to change it, but what I'm saying is if you're on if you're trying to get in, and you're on your second try or third try, then if the fingerprint's still working, use your fingerprint to open it up, and then shut it down, and then lock it up again, and then try 2 or 3 more combinations.
There's only 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
10,000.
But you gotta have that code, you don't wanna lose that code. Yes.
Why don't you just back it up to the cloud, erase the whole thing, and start over again?
Well, you can't, you gotta have the code to do that.
Usually he can set his fingerprint to open it.
No, the fingerprint will not open it up when it's been turned off.
After hard reset.
If you do a hard reset, you have to have the code to get in. The fingerprint won't get in. That has to do with their security system of somebody picking up your iPad and walking out of here and activating it for themselves. That's why you have to have that code.
Mitch, can't Apple get into it? Does he take it?
No, they do not keep those codes.
There's a number of articles on the internet basically says if you forget your code, you're basically SOL.
SOL, that's well put. Yep.
So let's have a day where we get a reward for coming up with the 4-digit code.
So the best thing to do is to have your 4-digit code. I actually don't use a 4-digit code. I use a 7-digit code now on mine. I know my wife uses a 4-digit, which is fine, but I use 7-digit on my devices. I don't know that I have that code recorded somewhere else, but I probably should have it written down somewhere else.
That's a great use for 1Password on your Mac.
Yeah, is to put it in there.
In the secure notes area, you can write those things out.
Yeah, and then just make sure you don't lose your master code for 1Password.
What's Ruth's secret to remembering codes?
What is your secret?
1Password.
Yeah.
1Password, there we go.
Sometimes you have to have a variation because they want a number or a capital or something like that. So you could have 2 possibilities if you need it. Otherwise, just keep one that works for everything, right? A longer one, one with a number, an
No,
uppercase, lowercase.
we're talking about the package, 1Password. It's a package.
What's that?
Oh,
It's a long discussion.
1Password is right here.
See, that's your 1Password that you have to remember. And then
Yeah,
when you open
and-
it up, it stores securely encrypted all of your passwords for all of your websites so that they can be all different, which they're supposed to be all different.
So, let me turn this off for a second so I don't give everybody my passcodes. and all.
Is that a freebie?
It's not, it's
Yeah,
it's
this would be a
simple.
freebie.
No, is the 1Password free?
Yeah.
No.
No,
No, it's $40 or something.
Oh.
For the
it's free for the iPad
For
and
the
the
iPad,
iPhone.
an iPhone is free unless you want the extended.
I had to pay $10 for my transaction. I bought it out.
Just have to remember the password.
Okay, so when it's open, let me get back in here. And you'll be amazed at everything I have in here. So when 1Password's open, these are all the categories. And you can see, starting at the top, I have 290 login codes for different sites, 8 secure nodes, 15 credit cards, 2 identities. You see? You see who you're dealing with here? We'll go into that. And so, and I have my passwords that were system created. There's 47 of them. 2 passports, one for me and one for my wife. I don't have to.
Sure.
So it's for your 2 identities. My God, we have James Bond here.
James Bond is right. 2 driver's license, 5 wireless routers, 5 bank accounts, 7 software licenses. I put the license numbers in now. But I like on the identity, just to show you that I'm not James Bond. We have 2 different places, one in Naples and one in Park City. So depending on where I'm at, I just have that information in there, okay? And to just show you that I wasn't fooling around, there are the two. There's my wife's passport in there, there's mine. It's not, I really do think I'm James Bond, but I'm not James Bond. And then so once, now I've been in there, so now I can unlock this with the finger touch, and it'll come up. And if you look at the logins, so here's all the sites that I have.
How
And
did
they
you
just
set
go
that up for finger touch?
on and on. How did I set it up? It's an option on 1Password. If you have a finger touch device.
Oh, yeah, just on that
Yeah,
device.
and it only, it works like the device. If I do a hard reset, then I have to go in and I have to put in my code the first time before the fingerprint will work. But I've got, and then it's got favorites. So if you got a gazillion of them like I do here, then it's got favorites. So these are the favorite sites I have, and it's a shorter list.
Did it alphabetize them for you too automatically?
It did.
Yeah.
I believe so, yes. Yes.
Can you get, if you want to take one out of there, is it as simple as deleting it and then you could work with it outside of 1Password?
Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, it's simply, there's no.
Yeah, you can delete it, yeah.
Actually, if you have a fairly straightforward password, you don't have to go through 1Password to go into the site. And the one disadvantage, I think it's still a disadvantage, is that this brings you up to the official desktop websites, right? But
Yeah, it will bring you up to the websites.
Many of them, like Facebook, for instance, has one website pattern for desktops and another one for devices. So a lot of times you would rather be on the device. If I'm on my iPad, I want the iPad version of Facebook. So I choose not to go through 1Password for Facebook, but to log in manually if I have to log in. But I can use 1Password to store the password for Facebook and then do a copy and paste.
And that's a lot of times what I do.
Yeah.
I'll just store, I forget what I was on the other day, but I went in and I just stored it on there, and it wasn't even a website, it was just something I needed to store. And I put a name and the passcode in there, and you can copy and paste real easy. You just never want to lose your master, and I have those. There's 2 passcodes that I have in a secret place. I know where they're at, and one of them is my passcode to get into my iTunes account, my Apple ID, and the other one is my passcode to get into 1Passcode. They are both different and they're both pretty complex, and I have them in a separate location so that if my over 60 kicks in, I can find them. Carl left. I don't know if he left because he was excited about finding his 4-digit code, or he left because he was frustrated. Okay, one more question over here, Ruth.
If 1Passcode is open and you go off and log on to a new site,
Yes.
shouldn't that be automatically stored in 1Password? It isn't.
It's not on the i devices, but on your computer, it is. You can set it up so it is on your computer. It'll pop up. It's a setting, isn't it, within the...
They'll ask you, do you want to?
Yeah, do you want to save this? And you say yes or no or whatever. But on the iDevices, it isn't. But the iDevices sync with your computer. I have the same thing on my phone and the same thing on my couple computers at home. It's really a great program. I found it to be. Well, how many people in here use it?
What?
Yeah.
1Password.
1Password. Yeah. Almost everybody. Okay.
But when I'm using it on my laptop, I have to click on the 1Password icon for it to load the
Yes.
password.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
But it sounded like what you said, when you open up the website, it automatically fills in.
No, no, no.
No, okay.
We were talking about if you go to a new website and you
You're
create
creating
a
a
new
log.
login,
Oh, I see.
one password will ask you if you want to store it.
Right.
And it has different settings. And
Does it
so
show
on.
the watchtower there? It'll also review the passwords you've got in there and tell you whether they're, if you have duplicates, if they're for sites that have been compromised, so that you should review and change those passwords.
Yes,
A lot of help with managing your passwords.
yes. Now, I'm going to flip off of here. We're almost ready to go, but I'll show you one thing that's sort of funny. Let me get off of here and see if I can, we were able to do this the other week. I'll see if I can get on here. And, yep, there we go. Okay, so this is my phone. And I actually have, in the reminders area, I have this, I don't remember where it is now. I have security code changes. See that one? And that's a list I prepared. And there's nothing on the list, but if I go down here, so show completed, here they all are. And these are the key ones. So if they come on the news today and they say PayPal was compromised, and so was Dropbox, and so was Facebook, so I just go in like that, and then I go here, and I know which ones I've got to change. So I change those passcodes, and as I change them, I just sort of, I click them off that they're done, and then it got to be so frequent for a while there on the news that I just made a list and I just would check every one I hear on the evening news to go in and change them. And it's really a pain to do that too. So that's the final tip of the day. And thank you very much for coming.